Hi, and welcome to Ghostprime Reviews. So I want to take a look at the Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection Scourge. Actually, this is more Black Convoy. Actually, this is more Nemesis Prime than either of them. And why do I say that? The deco. There's been a lot of conversations about this deco and that he's super black and he doesn't have any of the gray on it. Doesn't look like Scourge or Black Convoy. And, well, you're not wrong. It doesn't. It looks more like a Nemesis Prime to me. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but in a line such as Legacy that the decos have been relying so heavily on the original decos of the characters, this seems to stick out a bit. It's not the same. It is very different, and I think it was Mark Clonus on Instagram from Hasbro who said in a comment, I actually can't find where I read it again, but he said that, and I think it was him, he said that the person who did it wasn't familiar with the source material and did what they thought looked the best. And honestly, I don't think it looks bad. I think we could or may expect a Generation Selects or maybe a Takara Premium Series finish with the actual deco that it's supposed to be. Now, I say supposed to be loosely, and what is Scourge and Nemesis Prime is that's a whole another story. I mean, that's a whole discussion and comparisons and what started what did what first, and all these things. I mean, you could go all the way back to Lio Convoy for the teal, the black. That was the first time ever, and that was 1998. And then the red windows. Well, I think that was Nucleon Quest Super Convoy. I'm not going to do a deep dive at all in this video. I'm going to kind of keep it to kind of a light review and discussions about the deco. I will be going over the box, not the transformation, because, well, I already did a video on all that. So, anyway, without any further ado, let's get to the review. So I'm going to go over the box real fast. My box is a bit crushed, and that's the way I got it. I got it from, I guess, from Walmart. They destroyed their boxes. This one is okay, luckily. But I do like this box art. You can't actually move his arms like that, which is a shame. But the box art is really nice. It's got the same sort of like Speedia 500 collection. Still think this should be all the way across the top because this is one line, this is another. This is the 500 collection of the Velocitron Speedia. I don't know, it's weird. Got the logo there, alt mode, robot mode. Side view is just up close, top, alt mode. And on the back, see the deco for both the modes and I guess the third mode, if you want to call it that, which you could do there, 30 steps. Of course, he does come with a set of instructions. As we all know, I do want to point out that he says they're calling him Scourge, but he definitely is more in line with Black Convoy. All right, he is packaged in alt mode, so that's what we're looking at first here. Take a look at the sword. It is cast in this pink, and this doesn't show up on the cameras as much as it's almost like a pearlescent metallic. It looks cool. It's a really cool color, and I really like that all the pink is done in this. So he has this here shield piece. You can kind of see the pearlescent there a little bit. It looks much brighter in the light on camera than it does in my hand. I'm seeing this as much darker than you're seeing it. It looks much different. But, you know, you could fold this, you could put it on the cap as well. And here is the truck and trailer itself. Now, it's obviously the same old. Let's go ahead and look at the trailer first. There is not chrome. I wish they would chrome things again. The silver's cool, it looks good, but I wish they would chrome things again. I really do. But this is a good look for this. I do actually like it. I wish there was a little bit of room for a bigger license plate there so we could say Scourge or something on it. But I'm sure Toy Hacks will do something with it. I just don't know what you could do with the chrome unless you have a micron pen. If you want to make this whole thing chrome, you could. But it looks really good. And of course, this is a gun that can't pop off. Just like the Laser Prime that we got recently. Now for truck mode here on Scourge. I think it looks good. It really invokes the character. You have these like tribal looking stripes here that are much different than the original, but it kind of invokes like a late 90s, 2000 sort of, theme, I guess, because it was real popular around the whole tribal thing. But I do dig it. Move that out. You got painted hubs. You got nice painted around the windows of the teal there. I think overall it does really well. There's some more of the pinstriping on the back. Nothing as far as taillights are concerned. But I would say the deco on the truck looks pretty good. And, of course, rolls very well. Now, you can store this part inside the trailer, but you can put the sword on the underside of Scourge, just like that. So all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good here. I can't get the light really in there, but it has translucent headlights. But I think it looks good. I don't really have a lot of complaints in this mode, so let's go ahead and do some comparisons. There he is with G2 Laser Prime. So you can see there's the cab deco differences. As you can see, this is actually clear plastic painted, but they decided not to paint it there, which it doesn't detract too much from it. I think it fits in the overall theme. It's not too noticeable. And the trailer. Now the only paint on the trailer on this is the red here, where this is entirely painted, and the plastic is much darker. Let me get that so you can see that. So it's got a much darker plastic and a bright silver on it, so it actually stands out quite a bit. And you see this kind of slightly got a gray brown on this versus like a black. So I think that really works. Very, you know, as far as a different trailer. This isn't red, this is silver. It looks good, even though it's not chrome. Let's take a look at the truck side by side. So I would have liked maybe the Autobot, upside down Autobot logo G2 there, maybe, but it doesn't bother me either way. You see the kind of different paint deco on them. Oh, and how those match up. I kind of decided to paint the lights on the top there. All right, and here they are together. This is the Scourge from the Hasbro line. I don't have Black Convoy for the car robots, but so you can see the deco differences here, and there are plenty. This one has a lot more teal on it than this one does, but I still appreciate the homage to this. I think it's a decent homage. I do like the straight lines rather than this, but I think it does a decent job of being a little different, but still invoking the actual character. Of course, the trailers are vastly different, this one being completely chrome and this one being done in silver, but yeah, well, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But the size, I think I paid $30 for this in 2001. This was $55, actually I think I got out of there with taxes, probably closer to $60, $59. So the huge price difference between the two. And I would have liked to see just a little more teal on the side. Nitpicky. Overall, I think it works. It looks okay. From front there, of course, there's no chrome, and I really wish there was some chrome on these newer figures. That goes for any figure. All right, here he is with the base mode for those who want to see it. That's how it looks. I mean, you know, it's the base mode. The maybe battle platform mode. You could still attach a lot of things to it. It is what it is. It's not too bad. I'm glad it's not too big. You could probably even display it like this. Overall on a shelf, it's not too bad. So let's get into robot mode, because I got a lot to say about that. All right, and here he is in robot mode. So you can see just how the deco looks. He's got silver. He's got a kind of little black piece on the crotch. Pink on the front windows, outlined in the teal. He's got a lot of pink that shows up on the shoulder pylons. You can see the pinstriping there. On the back, it looks much just like the truck did, which is not too bad. It looks, you know, accurate, I would say. Let's turn that around a little faster. I mean, overall, I like this deco. Like I said, the pink is good. One thing that's also really nice about it is that head sculpt really works, and you can almost see how the lights like really catch the light. The light piping on this thing works tremendous. It's really, really nice. Getting super close up, you can just kind of see the detail. I don't know if it just can't get that to come out right in the light, but I love the color on the head. I think the head they captured perfectly. And you can see he's got a light piped head. So you can see, and he has a matrix here, which has a pink center. His abdomen is black with a silver. You can see the upside down G2 logos there, just like Black Convoy from Rid 2001. Stay in focus. Under here, you have unpainted missiles. I don't know if they're supposed to be made of glass. I have no idea. Teal shows up at that crotch. It's got a metallic sort of... it's a nice looking gray. If they could have made the rest of it the same color. Teal shows up on the knees. And you've seen the rest. The joints, as far as the joint use, is good. Mine's a little loose here. Can't hold the sword and the little, whatever you call it, shield axe thing up. It'll just fall down. But overall, it holds itself on its own. Articulation is all the same. But let's get into this deco. And for that, we are going to bring in the original Scourge from the Robots in Disguise line. So this is very, very different. There was actually a guy on TFW that did a mock-up of this, a Digibash, in these colors, and look at it. It looks really good. I think this could really, really, really do well with this color scheme. It kind of feels that's what it should be. Now, I think, moving close on the head sculpt, I do think that, like I said, the head sculpt is done really, really nicely. There's not enough teal on the front to actually, I mean, this has got a ton of teal on it. In fact, I did a whole review on this guy. I love the paintwork on this. This is one of my all-time favorite characters. He has like pinstripe, not pinstriping, but like a wet brush here, you know, so it's actually in the crevices. I mean, look at that. That looks really, really good. The paintwork on this is so nice. You don't get that with this. I think this could have benefited from a lot of the same thing. Maybe teal on the hips here, teal on the legs, up on the shoulders, more here on the shoulder pylon things. I don't know if it wasn't in the budget or what. If they did these the same, it could be excellent. Now, so another thing different here is the chest and the shoulders have this design on it. This one does not. This is more indicative of a kind of how the Nemesis Primes work and not the Scourges. Scourges generally all have this. Now, Scourge isn't always gray. As seen here in the Cable exclusive version of Scourge, he is done in black and even has a silver abdomen here, grill on the abdomen. But you still have the basically the same type of design on the chest that the original does, and the same on here. More teal shows up. I really think that they could have made this one invoke that a bit more. Even on the last one, the Titans Return one, Scourge, I don't have that one. I wish I did, but I'll go ahead and set a picture of it here. You could actually see the same chest design on that one, and that is really indicative of that Scourge character. And even if I think this had that, it would have set it apart, and I think there would have been a lot less discussion about the deco being incorrect on this one. Okay, and there he is with the Generation 2 Laser Prime. Like, this deco looks okay. Again, but it is definitely Nemesis Prime rather than a Scourge for the reasons I mentioned. Anyway, on to the conclusion. So in all, this is the same thing as a G2 Laser Prime. So you get all the same downsides to it. The only upside is the deco. I think the deco is actually better than the Laser Prime, even though the Laser Prime is more faithful to the source material. This deco is pretty good in my opinion. Now, the question is, will I buy one when they inevitably come out with one in the correct deco? Yes. But it still doesn't occupy that same space and that same love that I have for the original one, which has a ton of playability, and it's just such a good figure. It just feels that the only way to improve it is to give it more joints and posability because it's already pretty excellent as it is. They can't reinvent the wheel on an already almost perfect figure. But this one does a pretty good job of making it its own figure. I think its own character. I don't really consider this a Scourge. This more is a Nemesis Prime to me, and it sort of makes sense in that space just because of the deco. But I could recommend it because it's a good looking figure. I think there's a lot to like about it. I really do. I think they fixed some of the things like the light piping and the head. I could actually move on him, and this pink is excellent. It's a really beautiful metallic sort of color. It's really nice in person. It doesn't look very good in bright lights on camera, but when you have it in hand, it's dark. It has a sheen to it. It's really good, and it's to be experienced, definitely. So I recommend it. It is a little pricey. All figures these days are pricey, and it's actually not that hard to find at Walmart. I believe it's even on their website for pre-order now. There's another Nemesis Prime. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs down button if you have to. Please ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'll talk to you next time.